This question is about derivatives. What useful function do derivatives serve in our economy? We got along quite well without them for many years. If they serve no useful purpose and in fact have demonstrated that they can do considerable damage to the economy, why are they not made illegal, especially the naked ones? I believe that short selling of stocks that one does not own or has borrowed or has managed to borrow is illegal.
Well, I think the usefulness of derivatives has always been overrated. If we didn't have any derivatives at all, including contracts to buy and sell grain that were traded on exchanges, we'd still have plenty of oats and wheat. I mean, I think it is slightly more convenient for people to be able to hedge their risks of farming by using derivative markets and commodities. And the test is not, is there any benefit in derivatives? The question is the net benefit versus disadvantage from derivatives useful, or would we be better off without it? My own view is that if we went back to having nothing but derivative trading and commodities, metals, currencies, safely conducted under responsible rules, and all other derivatives contracts vanished from the earth, it would be a better place.
Yeah. We'll take a current example. Burlington Northern has hedged diesel fuel, which they use a lot of, over the years. And then they also have fuel adjustment clauses in a lot of their contracts for transportation. With Matt Rose, does a wonderful job of running Burlington, I basically say, look, if I were running the place, I wouldn't bother to hedge it, because if you hedge it for a million years, you're going to be out the frictional cost probably of doing it, unless you're smarter than the market generally on diesel fuel. And if you're smarter than the market on diesel fuel generally, we'll go into the business of speculating in diesel fuel. I mean, if we really got an edge, why bother to run the trains? Let's just speculate in diesel fuel. But I also say, on the other hand, Matt Rose has done a fabulous job, as well as his management team, in running Burlington Northern. And if they are more comfortable, or they find it useful in any way in terms of pricing contracts or anything, to hedge it, that's fine with me too. I mean, it's his company. He can figure out the best way of running it. I'll hold him responsible for how it does over time. And I would not condemn anybody that's running a railroad for hedging diesel fuel, nor would I condemn anybody that runs an energy company like we do at Mid-American for hedging energy costs in certain ways. But I do think if we could put up a presentation or number 4 on the screen, please. I think it was said very well in 1935. In fact, chapter 8 of Keynes's chapter 12 of Keynes's general theory is by far, in my view, probably Charlie's too, the best description of the way capital markets function, the real way people operate. The first part of it's very familiar to people. I mean, this quote has been used a lot. Speculators may do no harm as bubbles on a steady stream of enterprise, but the position is serious when enterprise becomes the bubble on a whirlpool of speculation. You can change that to gambling if you want to. When the capital development of a country becomes a byproduct of the activities of a casino, the job is likely to be ill done. The measure of success attained by Wall Street, regarded as an institution of which the proper social purpose is to direct new investment into the most profitable channels in terms of future yield, cannot be claimed as one of the outstanding triumphs of laissez-faire capitalism, which is not surprising if I am right in thinking that the best brains of Wall Street have been, in fact, directed toward a different object. That was written in 1935. I don't think there's been anything better written about how government, how citizens should look at Wall Street and what it does and it doesn't. It's always had this mixture of a casino operation and a very socially important operation. And when derivatives became popular and the more academia was behind them 100%. They were teaching more about how to value an option than they were about how to value a business. And I witnessed that, and it drove me crazy. But in 1982, Congress was considering the expansion of a derivative contract to the general public in a huge publicized way. It was the S&P 500 contract. That changed the whole derivatives game. At that point, basically Wall Street just said, come on in, and everybody can speculate in an index, not any real company, just an index, and you can buy it at 10 o'clock in the morning and sell it at 10:01, and you're contributing to this wonderful society by doing it. And I wrote a letter to Congressman Dingell, and if we'll put up Exhibit 5, I just excerpted a few of the statements I made there. And I said, this was 1 month before they put in trading in the S&P 500 April. They put it in April 1982 in Chicago. Both the people in Wall Street kept dreaming up new and new ways for people to gamble, and academia was applauding all along the way and getting hired as consultants to various exchanges to tell them how wonderful they were in terms of their social purpose. And
if I remember right, this was like the only letter in opposition to this uniformly acclaimed new world of better gambling in things related to securities. If a small group with a lot of money and influence cares a great deal about something and the rest of us are indifferent, why, they tend to win before our legislative bodies. That's just the way it is. I always like Bismarck's remark that you shouldn't watch two things, sausage making and legislation making.